doctors, nobody could fix this. So she went around to all 6 of those doctors to tell them what my dad did, and all 6 of those doctors turned him into the medical board.
Right. Yeah, it was really all 6 turned him in. So none of them were interested in what he did and how he fixed or helped the person. So this was the first time that he was attacked for helping people, but not the last time, obviously. So he does this. He's the rich eye surgeon. Things are doing okay, more or less. Mom is the doctor's wife. She's allowed to do whatever she wants. So she wants to go see a psychic. Dad says, well, whatever, go see a psychic. He doesn't really believe in these things at this point in time. So Mom goes to see a psychic. And this psychic, we've been to a lot of different psychics in our time. And there are some psychics that are very interesting, to say the least, I guess. And some that really pick up on some things that are pretty amazing. At one point, when Dad was working with the psychic, Jimmy Carter actually called, and he went off to Camp David to be with President Carter during peace talks. So this psychic was actually president to 4 presidents. Not that you will ever see that written anywhere. So at one point, when Vincent Ragone was his name, meets Mom, he says to her, I need to meet your husband. We need to talk. So, okay, whatever, Dad, we'll go to the psychic. Happy wife, happy life. So Dad goes with Mom to the psychic, and Dad says it's about time, or the psychic says it's about time we met. And he introduces Dad to the work of Edgar Cayce. And Dad's life changes. So he starts to research Edgar Cayce. Next thing you know, the family, we're going to Arizona. Dad takes a 70% cut in pay to bring us out to the Wild West to find out about homeopathy. So he was on a mission at this point. As much as we liked the Porsche and Jaguar.
They became Blazers and Datsuns after that.
Yep, Blazers and Datsuns.
And motorcycles.
Yeah. But he went to Arizona and he began to work at the ARE Clinic, which is an Edgar Cayce clinic. And as he was there, he did some very interesting things.
He would pour over all of Edgar Cayce's medicinal readings, and the thing he found he recommended most was osteopathic work. So Dad started to incorporate osteopathic work into his practice because of Edgar Cayce, and at that point, his results started to skyrocket.
And at this time also, in Arizona, this is the 80s, early 80s, late 70s actually initially, late 70s we got there. Homeopathy, it's like the Wild West. So anyone can call themselves a homeopath. There's no licensing and there's nothing going on with this. So as Dad's noticing this, he decides that there's good work here, but something needs to change. Something needs to be legitimized. So Arizona was the first state that had what was known as the Arizona Homeopathic Medical Practice Act. And that was a law that separated the AMA from the HMA, the Homeopathic Medical Association. And our father wrote that law. So he was a true pioneer. He fought for the people and he fought to get things done right. As he did that, he created the first homeopathic medical board in the United States and gave out the first homeopathic medical licenses in the United States. He made sure that the homeopaths had anatomy background, that they at least understood how the body worked. And at that point, he became public enemy #1 for the AMA because he took a lot of power away from them.
With the anatomy, he was doing we went to the Health Freedom Expo years later, and a lady said, I lost my license because of you. He says, you didn't know anatomy. He says, get your hands off the car if you don't know how the car works.
Yeah. So as time goes on here now also, he's doing good work. He's getting things accomplished, which is wonderful. He's starting to get noticed, and all of a sudden things start to get interesting, definitely. He was actually at one point brought up on charges of curing someone by illegal means. So literally they did not care if the person got better, they only cared about what he did, and they didn't like that. He was brought up on charges of illegible handwriting. Right, as a doctor? As a doctor. And he told us about practicing his horrible signature. When I was in elementary school, my teachers would say, your handwriting is horrible. I would say, my dad's a doctor. And everyone would laugh. The judge thought this one was a joke, as a matter of fact, also. So he gets harassed a little bit. At the same time, a man, Burton Goldberg, comes into the picture and takes our father and several other people on a trip around Europe to see what's going on with other alternative medicines outside of the United States. So he gets to travel. He sees things in Germany. He's excited. He ends up in Canada.
You're
with a physicist, Gaston Naissons. And this man has a microscope with live blood. And our father has never ever seen live blood before. They don't do this in Western medicine. So Dad looks into the microscope and he sees things moving around in the blood that he's never seen before. And he gets chills. And he says, I need to study this. Something needs to happen here. So Dad decides, all right, I want to do the microscope work. He comes back to good old Arizona, is where we've been up to this point in time. And he gets back to work. You're telling the microscope story? Nice. You're telling the microscope story?
We don't know whether it was a boot or we'll just call it a boot.